Hopefully we have audio. I see Sheepya, or is that Shapya? Just got back from voting. That's good. Please vote today if you can. I can't, because I'm not a citizen yet. We have audio. That's good. But if you're in the Netherlands, please, for the love of God, vote today. If you haven't done it yet and you have time, go do it now and then come back. The stream will be on for a couple hours. I think I can probably... Yeah, I know it's sheep with ya, but is it sheepya, or is it like sheep as in the English word sheep, or is it pronounced the Dutch way, which would be shapya? Anyway, I think I can flip on the video. Let's see, is that working? Just gonna load it on my other phone to see. What's the roadmap from permanent residency to citizenship? They're basically the same thing. You need to get either way. You need to pass the inburgerings exam, I think, for permanent residence. Anyway, whatever. I did pass the inburgerings exam and the language exams and everything. The kennis van de Nederlandse maatschappij, the knowledge of Dutch society, I guess is how that translates. I'm in wait, do we actually have video? I haven't checked. I should probably do that before I get going. Oh my good God. Yes, it does look like we have video. Hopefully the Dutch angle is okay. Actually, I'm going to let this play for a bit to see if the Dutch angle is okay. Lekker man, goed bezig. Dank je. So I am in Oost, as you can see by the fact that we're outside of OLVG Oost, the hospital. I have an appointment here at 2 p.m. As you might notice, it is not 2 p.m. 2 p.m. is... It is 2 p.m., right? Let me double check when my appointment is before I get too excited. Yes. 2 p.m. is several hours from now. I need to be back here before my appointment in 3 hours, which means I have time between then and now to do a live stream. And we're going to do one in Oost. How's your Dutch going? It's pretty good. I think it's like somewhere probably between a B1 and a B2 level. I find like moving to B2 is difficult. It's mostly because of like vocabulary. There's just so many words you need to know to hit B2. Actually, before we get rolling, let me grab a sip of tea. Not in that pannier. Oh, come on. This is fantastic content. You can see the ground. They're made of these lovely clinkers. Here we go. There's the tea. Could you do a stream just biking around the country? Yeah, you know, I would like to. My issue is that I have kids, and I usually have to do something with them every day, so I don't have time just to go piss off around the country. But I do have plans. Tram. It's going to be very easy to end the stream on a tram when I have to end the stream back here. I do have plans to, like, now that the live stream setup is reasonably solid, I would like to do a stream on the main Not Just Bikes channel. Chat will be wild. There will be so many people on there. But I was thinking I might do like a charity stream. Try to raise money for some charity. Indeterminate which one that would be. And I would bike from Amsterdam to Utrecht. And I think that would be a lot of fun. Oh, I didn't even know you had a Twitch channel. Love the YouTube content. Thanks me love this country even more. That's great. Thanks, Positristy. If you don't see what I'm talking about, if you don't see the messages I'm responding to, it's because I'm multi-streaming to both Twitch and YouTube. If you want to watch on YouTube, it's NJB Live. If you'd like to watch on Twitch, it's Not Just Bikes. Didn't even know you had a YouTube channel, lol. Yeah. I actually have I think the automated bot comes in and mentions I have a YouTube channel. I find it really funny when people find me through Twitch because I'm this tiny little Twitch channel, and then they go over to YouTube and I have like 1.1 million subscribers. That's always kind of comical. Oh, there you go. Nightbot just did it. Thanks, Nightbot. That's very timely. Enough people speaking Dutch to you and not switching to English. I heard that is a major problem in practicing speak. Yeah, so I learned Dutch by, I eventually I got a tutor that I would meet with originally twice a week for an hour and a half each time. And I had to pay someone to talk to me. Because yes, people will switch to English. And I get it. Like, it's not the job of the woman behind the counter in Albert Heijn to be your Dutch tutor. But what I found, more than anything, is that people stopped switching to English with me when my pronunciation got better. And in particular, Dutch people are super, what's the word? Sensitive to which syllable you emphasize in a word. I don't know. Maybe I'll explain this someday in a video or something when I talk about it. What the hell? I just lost my chat. It just crashed. But like, if you say, if in English you put the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable, people will be like, that's weird, but I know what you mean. If you do that in Dutch, they have no idea what you're talking about. So that's my advice to you. Work on your vowel pronunciation and the emphasis that you put on your syllables, the emphasis that you put on your syllables. And people might stop switching to... What the hell? Why is chat crashing on me again? It's a freaking website. Why is it crashing? I saw one mention there. Thoughts on the upcoming Dutch elections. Yes. If you're in the Netherlands, please go vote. Make sure you vote. I can't vote because I'm not a citizen yet. Please go vote. And my thoughts on the Dutch elections is that PVV are polling way too high. If I could vote, I would be voting for GroenLinks PvdA. I'm kind of tired of neoliberalism, so I'd be happy if the VVD took a break for a while. And I certainly don't think the solution to too much neoliberalism is more right-wing parties. That's my thoughts on the Dutch elections. Okay. I'm voting for the... I'm voting for my parents as well for the first time. They lost all confidence in politics. It is annoying when people lose confidence in politics. Like, I get it. It's annoying. Politicians suck, but like, if you don't vote, then the only people who vote are the extremists, and then you get extremist parties, and that's not good for anyone. And like, I get it, like, that politics is a compromise. You have to compromise. There's no party that's going to match you 100% of the way, but like, Jesus Christ, there are like 12 political parties in the Netherlands in government. There must be one that's at least close to your political views. I mean, it's not like a two-party system in the United States or anything. Your girlfriend is finally a citizen and can vote when it actually matters. Yeah. Hey, water board elections matter too. That's the only election I can vote in, is the local water board elections, which is like cool and all, but like, I don't know. I don't know anything about who to vote for the water board. I even tried researching it last time, and I'm just like, I just don't understand water management. I don't know how to choose between these people to manage my water. Going to vote SP today, but choosing between SP and GroenLinks PvdA is hard. Yeah, I get that. The only thing is, there's a genuine chance that GroenLinks PvdA could be the largest party, and we could have a left-wing prime minister of the Netherlands for like the first time in decades. And I think that would be pretty cool. Like, getting them as the largest party would be a big step forward. So normally I would say, like, vote for whoever you want in the Dutch system, but just in this chance, I would really like people to get GroenLinks PvdA as the largest party. Yeah, it is funny to say water board in English because that's associated with what they did in Gitmo. I'm here to film some more of these 30-kilometer-an-hour roads, so I'm just gonna hop down here and get this sign in this road. If you are left-wing, you should vote for GroenLinks PvdA. Well, that's what I believe. I really think this is an opportunity. Now that they've merged, that you've got the United Left, I think this is an opportunity to have a left-wing government. Because right now, from what I understand, GroenLinks PvdA is such a long title to say, but GL and PVV and VVD are polling pretty much neck and neck right now. Any one of them could be the largest party. It's very close. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Anyway. What is going on here? This is not a politics stream. Maybe it could be. But it's not right now. This is me filming signs. Why are you filming signs? Well, this is my job, believe it or not. So, for those of you who missed the last stream, Amsterdam is making most roads in the city 30 kilometers an hour. Most that were 50 kilometers an hour are now becoming 30 kilometers an hour. And you can see that sign there says, from the 8th of December, 30 kilometers an hour. Those are big stickers that on the 8th, they're going to pull them off in one big reveal. My assumption is all of the Pete's from Sinterklaas are going to hang around for an extra 2 days and run around town and tear off the stickers, but whoever does it, those stickers are coming off on the 8th, and underneath them are 30 kilometer per hour signs. Oh yes, the map. Thank you. I will post that to the chat to everyone. This is the map I'm posting now. Boom. This is the map that I made. All of the green on that map are 50 kilometer per hour streets that are becoming 30 kilometer per hour streets. So I'm going to check out some of them. I think I should help remove those stickers. Yeah, I'm actually kind of curious if they'll just let people remove the stickers, because I would actually love to do a live stream where I just go around and pull the stickers off. It'll be so much fun. Also, how do I make this font smaller? God. Give me a second here. I'm just going to check the Dutch angle of this. This is more of a Dutch angle than I'd like. I don't mind a little bit, but... Is that better? Are the Netherlands actually known for enforcing speed limits? So yes, they enforce speed limits mostly through road design, though. Is that? Yeah, that Dutch angle is better. They have already started narrowing some streets. Apparently there are some streets that are going to be narrowed visually with paint until they have time to redesign them properly. I don't know where any of those are, so if you know where one of those is, please let me know. I would appreciate that. Now, let me actually load up that map here because I want to take a look at that. So where are we right now? We're just on the south of Ooster Park. That's the park there. So we're here. And I want to go check out a few more of these streets. Okay, so I'm going to go to the end of the park and turn right, and then left, I think. An NJB video, but everything is in a Dutch angle, yes. I mean, that's why I don't mind the Dutch angle. It can't be too severe, because I don't want to make you guys vomit either. I'm nice like that. Okay, let's get going. Ding. That was not intentional. Oh man, left my bike in 5th gear, Jesus. Hell yeah, I finally got a live stream. No longer live in the Netherlands, but watching your streams. The streets you used to know fills me with joy. That's cool. Seems the road that was part of the Knip is going to be 30 for a small part. Is it? I don't think so. Maybe at one end. I should go check it out if that is the case. Now I think this will also be turning to, yeah, there's the sign there. This will also be going 30. I mean, this street should be 30, Jesus. But I do want to get some video of a bunch of different street designs here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Yes, thank you. Oh, actually, if you are on YouTube, please click the thumbs up button. It's amazing what a difference it makes. Like, we did it last time on stream, and I asked people to hit the thumbs up, and within a few minutes, we got like 30 more people joining the stream or something like that, or is it 50? Like, it makes a big difference. YouTube, for some reason, really cares if you like a live stream. Love it when I go to film and there's no traffic. Okay, here we go. What if we click the useless react button on Twitch? That I don't know. The likes are going up so fast. Yeah, it's funny, eh? I do enjoy watching that. And then very soon, someone mentioned it was actually 100 people that joined after I said it last time, which is wild. Like, yeah, I know that like these platforms do engagement, but engagement is different every time. Oh, now there's a tram coming. Jesus, can I be fast enough to grab that? We'll see. Yes, the answer is yes. YouTube is better for discoverability than Twitch, yes, but generally, like, Twitch is better at the technicalities of live streaming. I mean, they should be. That's all they do. Shit, I dropped my lens cap and I'm wired to this stupid fucking... Oh my god. And I injured my right arm. To anybody that missed that last time, I injured my right arm. And it's mostly healed, but the tendons are still fucked up. So I can't do any work on a computer, which is why there's no Not Just Bikes video coming out in November. Hopefully I'll get one out for December, but Jesus. It sucks to not be able to use your right arm when you're right-handed. Here comes ambulance. Would have been good to film the emergency vehicle, but they love me. I'm following the notifications on both Twitch and YouTube. Twitch gave me a notification within a minute going live, and YouTube hasn't given away. That's so annoying. How did you injure it? I'm not going to say. Doing stuff I wasn't supposed to do. I need some level of privacy in my life. Just when you turn on notifications on YouTube, just click that bell and make sure that you have all and not on personalized. So under where the subscribe button goes, click the bell and then click all if you want to see all. But yeah, these platforms are so annoying. They decide what they want you to watch, not what you actually say you want to watch. Those are two different things. Twitch is borderline unusable for me, especially watching Americans as a European. That's interesting. I didn't even know there were different bells. Yeah, there are. The whole thing is very confusing. You know what's interesting? You know, we were talking about if you click the thumbs up, and please do click the thumbs up on YouTube if you like the stream. If you don't, click the thumbs down. I don't care. But please click something, because YouTube does care about that engagement. But you know what's interesting? YouTube no longer cares about comments. And you know, there's all this, people say like commenting for the algorithm. It's not a thing anymore. And I've had that confirmed by people who should know these things. YouTube does not care anymore about about comments. So you can turn off comments, train, and it doesn't make any difference. Comments aren't even fed into the algorithm anymore. Dang, when did that change? I have no idea. But I've specifically talked to someone who should know these things, who works at YouTube, and says that the YouTube algorithm does not even have comments as an input. Now, that may change, at any time they can do whatever they want. But apparently, right now, the YouTube algorithm does not know if you've commented or not. I guess they found that comments were not a useful indication of engagement. And for what it's worth, like, I have videos with like millions of views and maybe 5,000 to 20,000 comments. So like the vast majority of people don't comment. But they do tend to click the thumbs up and thumbs down. Now, where is the next major street going east that has been changed here? YouTube comments are very useful for finding the latest spam bots. Yeah. YouTube comments are garbage. If it were socially acceptable, I would turn them off. But like, I know if I turn off comments, it would be like, why is he turning off comments? What's he hiding? All right, what street is this? Yeah, I need to look at a better map. After the bridge. Is it after the bridge? Because that street's already 30 kilometers an hour. NGB silencing the truth, exactly. Oh, I see. I see. Okay, I know what street that is that I'm looking for. Okay, that's Ooster Park. Yeah, okay, so it's after Watergraafsmeer. Everyone knows you're hiding your big SUV. You know what? Just the other day, I saw some discourse online accidentally. I do try to avoid discourse online, but I accidentally stumbled across someone mentioning me. And somebody responded with like unironically, with that guy's a hypocrite. He made a video about how dangerous SUVs are, and then he bought a pickup truck a few months later. I'm like, how much of a fucking moron do you have to be to think I actually bought a pickup truck? Like, it amazes me how many people just see thumbnail and just wild that someone unironically thinks I bought a pickup truck. And and like feels the need to comment on just somebody just happened to mention me, and their immediate response was, that guy's a hypocrite, he bought a pickup truck. I just read it and I was like, what is wrong with these people? Like, how dumb do you have to be? Some people are professional haters. Yeah, that's true. Oh my God. When my channel became big, like around 1 million subscribers, that's when like the professional haters came out. And there's this thing they do, which is just wild, where there are people who will just take anything they can and clip it out of context as much as possible, and then they like file it away in a little folder somewhere. And there are people that do this for like multiple creators. They just clip things, anything that can look bad out of context, and they stick it in a folder, and then when something comes out, when something bad happens, they dump the contents of that folder on social media. I mean, that's what happened to Lindsay Ellis. And it's just wild that people do that people just store up shit on someone they don't even know, just with the intention of dumping it. Yeah, blackmail, but semi-irrelevant. Yeah, it's just, oh my God. Oh my good God. I've had so much shit clipped out of context. And the thing is that that bothers me, and certainly I don't get this nearly as bad as other people. Like, I mean, if you look at like Keffels or something, she gets it way worse than me, like to a whole other level. But the thing that bothers me the most about that stuff is that when people see it, they always take the like worst interpretation possible, right? Like when I see something like that, I'm like, that's a bit weird. I wonder why they said that, instead of, oh my God, that I knew something was up. They're the worst person ever, based on like a screenshot of a tweet that you don't even know if it's real, never mind what the context of it was. Like I've known creators, I've talked to other creators about this. I've known creators who literally were like on a podcast or a live stream and were saying, you know, the thing I hate about, you know, let's say Nazis is that they say this. And then they'll clip out the thing I hate about Nazis, and just the quote from the Nazi will be posted. This person believes this. The context was literally that, like, I hate Nazis, I hate what they believe, they say things like this, and it's clipped. And then the worst part is people see that or hear that, and they're like, oh, yes, I believe that's what he said. He must believe that. I'm like, how fucking dumb do you need to be to see these little clips on social media and not think, maybe there's a reason why that was clipped so short? But the thing that really bugs me is the people who actually do this, the people who do the clipping. They know what they're doing. Why do they do this? Anyway, it's so frustrating. And it happens to creators that are a lot smaller than you'd think. Like I've talked to creators who are like 200,000, 300,000 subscribers who have this happen to them. And I'm like, who are these people that's what they want to do? They want to take down this medium-sized creator. They do it on purpose to ruin your reputation. Yes, of course they do. But like, it's the fault of two people. Obviously, it's the fault of the person that clips it, but it's also the fault of the people who see it and don't use any shred of critical thinking whatsoever. I've seen people have it on Twitter with 5,000 followers. Just, yeah, it's wild. And I know that like there's lots of people who in particular, like if you're a woman or if you're trans or something like that, then people will just go fucking ape shit too. Okay, here we are. This is the street I was looking for to try to take you down. But like, oh my God, can people just use a shred of critical thinking that when you see a tweet screenshot or a small clip of audio or video, think about why that was being done, who did it, and what the context is. Can't you just sue those people? Yeah, good luck. Try finding those people. This happens to a guy called Hassan all the time. You know, the thing is, I think live streamers get this the worst. Not that these live streamers are all innocent people who are wonderful, but the thing with live streaming is that you're on for hours and you're just talking, right? Can you imagine that every conversation that you've ever had just shooting the shit with friends could potentially be clipped and used against you? Like, I do sympathize in particular, and I am extra critical when I see something of a live streamer, because I'm like, come on, live streamers will talk for like 8 hours. You don't think that anybody talking for 8 hours might say something that they haven't fully thought through for like 12 seconds? Can't you just sue? That's so American. Yeah, that's true. It mostly happens to Hassan's chair, though. Hassan's chair has watched a lot of my videos, for what it's worth. I think Hassan's chair is a big fan of my videos. Not to mention their AI models trained on streamers. Yeah, for sure. I actually trained 11 labs on my voice just using publicly available audio. And it's pretty scary. Shit, yeah. Can I get some traffic here? Man, there's just so little traffic in this city. Did you vote already? I can't vote. I'm not a citizen, but please do vote if you can. Amsterdam really needs to do something about that traffic. Yeah, I was thinking about that. I'm complaining that there's not enough traffic for my video. It will be interesting to see how a street like this goes 30 kilometers an hour. Like, it definitely could be 30, but I mean, it is more designed like 50 right now, right? 30 will feel kind of slow going down this. So, feels very straight for 30, yeah. And they're going to need some speed bumps, I think. The lane widths are not so bad. They are wider than normal. However, I think they do have a bus line going down this, so sometimes they make the lanes a bit wider with a bus lane. There is literally no traffic coming down here. This is wild. It will be interesting to see how this 30 kilometer per hour thing goes. Like, in general, I know that other cities have tried this 30 kilometer per hour thing. Apparently Wales is doing it across the whole... What is Wales? They England call it constituent countries. That's what they call it. Across the whole constituent country. But one of the benefits of the Netherlands, of course, is that they've already got relatively small lane widths. I think they're actually the narrowest standard lane widths in the world, which is already a big step in the right direction. I know a lot of places try doing 30 or 20 is plenty in miles, but have very wide roads, and it doesn't work very well. Waterloo approved doing 30 kilometer per hour zones. So that's Waterloo, Ontario, I assume. Just do the war and the motorists. Yeah, and my last podcast... Oh, if you don't know, I have a podcast. My last podcast, The Urbanist Agenda, is with Doug from the War on Cars. And we talk about the history of the War on Cars, because he's been following it in the news for years. Why the hell did my GoPro turn off? Man, I really hate GoPros. But in this case, it just came unplugged and apparently ran out of batteries. I thought it was a full battery when I started, but apparently not. Yeah, I choose to believe that this was a big car trying to take down my live stream. Oh, shit. Man, there's a lot of freaking wires. Look at all these freaking wires. Should be able to recharge the bike dynamo. That'd be nice. This bike doesn't actually have a dynamo. This one is just an e-bike and does everything off the battery. So if I forget to put in the battery, I have no lights, which is kind of a pain in the ass, to be honest. My last e-bike had a dynamo for the lights. The VVD is trying to silence you, yeah. Okay, we are back. Okay. Is that good? Dutch angles, okay. There. That's good. Fine, we're back. Okay, where am I going next? I'm just gonna ride along this road for a while, see what it's like. I'm gonna go back to that map. Here's the map, in case you haven't seen it. Yeah, I'm just gonna follow this, I guess, until after the highway. Or no, it's not a highway, it's the rail lines. And then I'm gonna check out some more. I subscribed to the podcast on YouTube, cool. Yeah, the podcast has been fun. Check it out if you haven't already. It's called The Urbanist Agenda, which it is funny that I talked to the War on Cars on the Urbanist Agenda. We both have names that like people object to. They don't like that they called their podcast The War on Cars. You shouldn't be perpetuating the myth that there's a war on cars. And I called mine the urbanist agenda because I have, you don't see them on YouTube because I block them, but I have so many people claiming my videos are some sort of World Economic Forum agenda. And there's all these wacky conspiracy theories around it. It's just wild. They're entirely based on climate change denialism, though. The camera could be up a bit more. Optics people are annoying, yeah. It's like I used to get a lot of people tone policing my videos, saying you should really be nicer in your videos, you know, or saying things like, you know, there are some people that can't drive, and I think you should mention it more often, that this isn't for everyone. And I'm like, fuck you. I hated the tone police. I don't actually get tone police anymore. I think they all just unsubscribed, because I would normally respond to their like long-winded messages with, no, go watch something else. And they'd get angry. Well, this is interesting. 30 sign, then the covered 30 sign, then a 30 sign, then a covered 30 sign. Can I get this on video? It's kind of comical. Normally the Netherlands is better at not putting signs right after one another. But it's interesting that it says 30 kilometers an hour from December 8th, and then there's a 30 kilometer per hour sign right after it. If anything, you're too nice. That's what I think. I honestly don't think that I'm not nice enough in my videos. I think I'm perfectly nice enough, especially when you consider that like automobile crashes are like the single largest accidental cause of death in almost every country in the world. Are we just supposed to be nice about that? But one of the reasons why I wanted to make my content is because a lot of the urbanist content that was around before my channel was so, I just felt it was so waffly. Like they wouldn't take a position on anything. They'd be like, we understand that not everybody can drive, that can ride a bike, but we think it would be good to have these options. And I'm just like, can you stop hedging every fucking argument you make? God, it drives me nuts. And I said, I will never do that with my channel. God, there's so little traffic. Thanks for the podcast with Mrs. NJB. It was one of my favorites so far. I was one of the people who suggested it. That's great. Yeah, it was fun to do it with my wife, except she made me record it multiple times. She's like, I didn't like that one. Let's do it again. I'm like, can we just make a podcast here? Honestly, people should be less nice in terms of urbanism and climate change. I agree in urbanism. I definitely agree in climate change. I really think the time for being nice is over. Like, I'm so tired of the videos, and they still exist. There's still so many urbanist videos online that are just like, we understand that not all people can blah, blah, blah. I'm like, fuck off. You don't have to talk about, yes, we understand that cars are very useful, and sometimes you need a car, and there's no other choice. Everybody fucking knows that. We don't need to hedge every fucking argument. Well, difficult guest, yes. The time for being nice was 50 years ago. Not nice Canadian. No, I'm now becoming a direct Dutchman. Can I just get a little bit of traffic? Can't there be like some BMW going twice the speed limit or something? I wouldn't have to wait this long in Toronto. Not all people can drive a car. Well, the thing is, I eventually want to mention this in a video, but like, there are more people who can ride a bicycle than can drive a car. And that, like, so the whole thing is just nonsense. Okay, I just need some fucking, okay, there's some traffic coming. I want there to be some traffic going by when I film the sign. And there's no, oh my God, every single one of those cars turned left. Okay, I'm done with this. Yeah. I'm just gonna film it one more time just to make sure I get this. All right. Just because you can't ride an upright two-wheel bike doesn't mean you can't use cycle lanes. Yeah, I mean, this is the other thing. I mean, I see physically disabled people using bicycle infrastructure multiple times every single day in the Netherlands. There's so little bike traffic that 30 kilometers an hour is the only bike infrastructure you need on the street. Yeah. So, oh, now there's a bunch of cars coming. That's fucking great. Just after I put the camera away. E-bikes greatly expand the number of people who can ride a bike. Yeah, that's completely true. And I see people on electric tricycles and all sorts of different vehicles. I see people in motorized scooters, like electric wheelchair type things, all sorts of stuff. All right, there's not enough traffic, but that's fine. I'll just have to show the video with very little traffic. So, yeah, one of the things that's happening in Amsterdam is the cycle paths are too narrow. They're just not big enough for rush hour. And one of the things with the 30 kilometers an hour is that the Netherlands does not require separated bicycle infrastructure if speeds are 30 kilometers an hour or less, as well as a certain threshold of cars per hour as well. So it's not just 30 kilometers an hour. So they are starting to convert some streets that have protected cycle paths into streets with no cycling infrastructure, which I think will justify a video someday. I'm getting some videos of some of them, but I think it's really interesting that Amsterdam is actually removing protected bicycle infrastructure because car traffic is so slow and volumes are so low, and bicycle volumes are so high that they can't fit in a bicycle path this size in rush hour. So they recently did that to Ferdinand Balstraat, for example. Oh, you're not allowed to talk about Mikhail Koval-Anderson on this stream. He's such a dipshit. I know his whole anti-e-bike thing. A lot of people are just like, "You are so dumb." But God, that guy. He is so angry at Dutch urbanists. He's made nasty comments about me in the past, but also Chris and Melissa Bruntlett, who are just super nice people. I don't know. What are your thoughts about speed pedelecs? I think they're fine. I think it's good that they have a category for them. You know, and here in the Netherlands, speed pedelecs, for anyone that doesn't know, is a e-bike that can go 45 kilometers an hour. There's a train station here. You need to wear a helmet and you need to have a license plate. And you need to ride on the roads inside of cities. It's a little loud here. Outside of cities, they can ride on the bike paths, between cities. And I think they're fine. Auto to Gras streets increasing then? Yeah. Sarfadistraat is another example here in Amsterdam. Maybe we'll swing by that way on the way back to Ola BG. No, probably not, because it's west of there. I'm going to stay east. I never get out here. Is this... So which street out here is becoming 30 kilometers per hour? I need to look at that map again. All right, so I can't tell from this shitty map which street is 30 kilometers an hour out here. It's not this one, is it? This looks shit, it is. I see the sign over there. Wow. This is a much more major street than I would have expected to be included. I'm gonna have to find a way to film this. A bit difficult, actually. I see the sign to the right of me here. Let me see if I can get there. Again, no fucking traffic. Look at this. There's nobody out here. But there's the sign. Let's see if I can just go through the wet grass. This is why waterproof shoes are good. Yeah. I am surprised that they made this 30 kilometers an hour. They're going to have to do something about this road design. That's a huge intersection to make 30 kilometers an hour. Yeah, I know, right? I'll film the intersection in a sec from the other side because then there's a sign. Yeah, wow. 500 speed bumps, yeah. I mean, the Gemeente does have plans to do a bunch of stuff ahead of December 8th and after December 8th. And last time I filmed some streets that have been redesigned. Let's get the camera out. It's actually chillier out than I thought it would be. I don't know what the temperature is. That's on the... You guys can see that, but it's just very wet. That was good. That's what I needed. So, they do have a bus lane in the center, but then it goes to 2 lanes for car. The car and bus lane merge up there. Wild that this is 30 kilometers an hour, or is going to be rather. It's 6 degrees Celsius. Yeah, okay, that explains it. 6 degrees when it's this humid is kind of miserable. Hey, let me get this intersection here. Yeah, sorry about the gaps of silence there while I film, but I always film more than I need to. That is one thing I have learned when making these YouTube videos, is that I can never have enough footage. And I'll get these clips sometimes. I always film longer. I wait for like cars and bikes to like clear the scene as much as possible, because it looks weird if you cut a video like just as a car is entering the frame or exiting the frame. It looks weird, or a bike. I spend so much time filming. While that will be 30 kilometers an hour, our city Amersfoort has a few roads with painted dotted bike lanes that are 50. That feels uncomfortable. Oh yeah. Yeah, there are in my hometown in London, Ontario, there are roads that are 80 kilometers an hour with painted lines, and I know there's places in Ontario that are 100 kilometers an hour with painted lines, which is fucking insane. This road being 30 is for emissions reasons, because it doesn't seem like safety reason. It's for noise and safety. The thing is, Amsterdam, the long-term goal of Amsterdam, man, my hands are fucking cold. The long-term goal of Amsterdam is to become an autoloos stad. That is what they say, which is a nearly car-free city. That is their goal. So long-term, that's where they're going. And the 30 kilometers an hour is a step in that direction. So the big thing is, and I think you can see it when I'm out here, right? Like, there's very few other cities that would have a road like this that wouldn't have more traffic in the middle of the day. Like, it's basically noon now, right? And look, there's no cars out here. For considering the size of this intersection, it's clearly meant for much larger traffic volumes. And yeah, I know there's rush hour, but still, like, if I were somewhere in Canada, in a city with this population, at an intersection this big, it would be rammed with cars. They're already doing a lot to reduce car traffic across the city. Also, hardly any bikes. Yeah, but there's still a lot more bikes than cars. Anyway, I think I need to grab something to eat here. I have a Cliff Bar. I'm getting kind of hungry. Although I had a late breakfast, but obviously not late enough. Hey, Andrew, I recently visited Houghton. Yeah, I know all about Houghton. I've had it on my list for literally since the start of the channel. I just haven't had a chance to fully review it. I got a whole route that I'm going to take to film. I know everything I'm doing with Houghton. It's just a matter of time. Houghton has that weird hourglass ring road, yeah. It's an interesting city. Can you talk about electricity prices ahead of winter? Well, I don't know if I'll get to that subject. Electricity prices are all over the place around the world right now because of the war in Ukraine and limited gas and from Russia and stuff. What's your favorite Dutch cheese? Actually, you know, I love Dutch cheese. I do love the cheese here, although I can't eat too much of it. I can't eat too much dairy in general, but I love cheese. But one of the things that annoyed me moving here compared to, so I lived in Brussels before, right? And the cheese shops in Brussels are phenomenal. It's like every kind of cheese you can possibly imagine. So when I first moved to the Netherlands, I saw these cheese shops with all this cheese. I was like, oh, that's great. It's going to be just like it was in Brussels. But you go into a cheese shop in the Netherlands, and it's like 90% of the shop is just 1,000 different kinds of gouda. And I'm like, where are all the other cheeses? It is amazing. Like, literally, there'll be walls and walls of just gouda. That's Gouda for people who don't speak Dutch. And that kind of annoys me. Maybe those are tourist cheese shops. Well, they're not in the touristy area. Like, one of the first ones I went to was in Rivierenbuurt. And it was definitely not touristy. Still like 80 to 90% gouda. Look at this. There's no traffic. Makes for a good city, but it doesn't make for good video. Goudse. Well, yeah. I'm speaking English and putting Dutch words in it. Grammar's going to be a bit funny. All right. Let's see if I can get this 30 sign and the intersection in one shot. Are you visiting Haarlem at some point? Yeah, I talked about Haarlem in my early videos. In like my first couple of videos on the channel. Where's your least favorite Dutch city you've been to? I don't know, parts of Rotterdam and Den Haag are pretty shit, to be honest. I get so many Dutch people, by the way, telling me that, like, oh, the things you talk about are only in the Randstad, and it's not, the rest of the Netherlands is nothing like that. And I don't see that at all. In fact, a lot of smaller towns have better infrastructure than a lot of places in the Randstad. And if you go to, like, Groningen or something, it's great. That's not in the Randstad. Or Nijmegen, it's great. I think it's just typical, like, this happens in every country. People outside of the big city hate the big city. Worked as a van driver in the Netherlands, and Den Haag is easily my least favorite city. I could see that. What parts of Rotterdam would you consider shit? I'm curious. Well, what I find is that there's a lot of very big, wide roads. Like, you'll notice in Amsterdam, there's not an awful lot of roads that are more than one lane for cars in each direction. Like, what they'll do is it'll be one lane, and then at the intersections, they'll have turning lanes. And Rotterdam has lots of, like, roads that have 2 and 3 lanes for cars in each direction. And in general, I find there to be a lot of traffic in the residential neighborhoods compared to Amsterdam. All right, anyway, let me see if I can get this sign and this big intersection and this apparently no traffic all in one shot. Yeah, the mistakes in the 1960s. Yeah, for sure. Like, I get that. And if you look at the coal single, it's so much better now than it was even just a few years ago. Like, Rotterdam's doing a lot to improve things. But I think just in general, it's kind of shit. And I get annoyed at all these people that tell me, oh, you know, your channel's only about the Randstad. First of all, it's not. I film outside of the Randstad very often, but obviously I live here. And I'm not going to go across the country to film something that I could film here in Amsterdam. That's stupid. Because a lot of it is the same. But the other thing is, there's lots of good stuff outside of the Randstad here. It's wild how boring this footage is with no traffic. But hey, at least Rotterdam is not Almere or Lelystad. You know, actually I haven't been to Lelystad, but I think Almere gets shit on too much. It's actually not that bad, and I think it's designed very well, fundamentally. It's just that it doesn't have any of that old city charm that Dutch cities have. I need to make a video about Almere someday. All right, let's see if we can get at least some of these cars going. Yeah, I really feel like this intersection is going to need a redesign. Almere is for living. If you want old towns, you drive 10 or 20 kilometers, yeah, or take the train. I think that's exactly the case. And I think, you know, Almere has a lot of immigrants because, and I think that's simply because, well, it's cheaper, but I think there's just a lot of Dutch snobbery around Almere because it's new, and I don't think there's anything wrong with Almere. It's got multiple train stations. It's got fantastic bike infrastructure that's separated from everything else. It'd be nice to have some trams, but at least the bus service is quite efficient. Also, the infra in Lelystad is apparently really focused around bikes. Yeah, like, I really don't think it's bad at all. And I think a lot of the negative comments from Dutch people about Almere and Lelystad really come from the snobbery about it being new. And I get it. It's not super pretty. I mean, it's not super pretty out here either, for what it's worth. But that doesn't mean that it's bad. And I think it's kind of a Dutch luxury to be able to be snobby about pretty looking places, because at least you have pretty looking places. There are none left in Canada. They all got bulldozed. All right, I'm just going to get one more clip of this intersection from this angle. But yeah, they're going to have to redesign this. This is crazy for this to be 30 kilometers an hour. With this amount of traffic, could even be a roundabout? Yeah, I'm not sure what it's like in rush hour. And the university is here. But yeah, I mean, at 30 kilometers an hour doesn't even require a signalized intersection, right? So, like, it'll be interesting to see how these streets evolve over time. It'll be interesting to see what they do with the space. Almere is quite well designed indeed. Architecture is another story. Yeah, that's the way I feel about it. Like, Almere is kind of a commuter town, kind of like Milton or Newmarket for Toronto. I don't think it's quite like Milton or Newmarket, but they have it's more of a self-contained city, but yeah, it's a similar idea. But commuter towns don't exactly need to be ugly or terribly designed either. I mean, Houghton is basically a commuter town of, or at least a satellite town of Utrecht. Didn't know you streamed on here. Yes, I do. I also stream on YouTube on NJB Live. Okay, where are we going next? This Dutch angle is still on this side, eh? Let me look at that map again. I'm actually getting more cold than I thought I would get, to be honest. So, I don't know, like, I might just keep my gloves on and ride around a bit. Where are we going next? I guess head along this street and hit some more 30 kilometer per hour streets. Yeah, I'm curious to see there's a food truck. Could have gone there for lunch instead of having a Cliff Bar next time. Anyway, let's just head along here and see what the rest of this 30 kilometer per hour road looks like. I think the government needs to build a new Almere. People need housing. I agree with that. I mean, I think Almere is well connected by rail to Amsterdam. It's got decent bus infrastructure, good cycling infrastructure. I think we need more of those. Like, stick a high-speed rail line somewhere. Build a city around it. The Dutch angle is probably from German. Yeah, that's what I understand. It's like Pennsylvania Dutch country, which has a bunch of German people living there, or German people of German heritage. The problem is Almere is only well connected to Amsterdam by rail. Yeah, for sure. And we need the Lely line. We need more rail. But the Netherlands has spent more on car infrastructure than rail infrastructure in the last 30 years, and that really needs to change. And you can see the effects of that, where you've got outdated infrastructure, outdated signaling, because all the money's been going to roads for decades. Dutch, Deutsch, yeah. I mean, it's funny how many things are called Dutch in the United States that are actually from the word Deutsch. It's just, it's very funny. So I guess this is 30 kilometers an hour, right? I don't see the sign, but the map shows this, which is kind of wild. So this is a road, what in the Netherlands is classified as a gebiedsontsluitingsweg. And normally those are 50 kilometer an hour. Those are the connectors between like highways, stroomweg, and like residential streets, the toegangsweg, I think they're called. So normally these gebiedsontsluitingswegen would be 50 kilometers an hour. And in order to do this in Amsterdam, they actually needed an official change to the road hierarchy designs in the Netherlands to allow for a 30 kilometer per hour gebiedsontsluitingsweg. And that's what this is. It'll be interesting to see how this works, because like, again, these are supposed to be, you'll notice that they have parking here, which they normally shouldn't have. But a street like this has very few driveways and such going off of it, and it's generally meant to get cars from A to B. And Jamila, your Dutch is pretty good. Yeah, my Dutch is getting better. I mean, I've been studying for years. Jesus, I hope so. Area unlocking road. Yeah, I guess that's what it translates as. But that's exactly it. Like, a gebiedsontsluitingsweg is what is supposed to be the way to connect from one place to another. So you know how North America has Stroads, which are the mix of the road and the street. The Netherlands does not have Stroads anymore. They've eliminated them completely. And they either have roads or streets. And this would be considered a road. I never knew we had hills in the Netherlands. Well, you know, there's a couple of them here and there. I'm assuming this hill is artificial. Okay, here comes a car. I need a car in this, Jesus. There's so little traffic. Yeah, so I'm assuming this hill was created by, like, they dug out the foundations for all these buildings and stuck it in a pile and made that hill, because there's no way that's natural. All right, another car coming. All right, that first guy was at least not going 30, so that's something. Let's get this direction. Like, I know it's not rush hour, but it's still so wild that there's so little traffic here. Like, so like London, Ontario's less than half the population of Amsterdam. There is no way that you could find any road in that city that had this little traffic in the middle of the day on a Wednesday. Could be it's so quiet due to elections and people going voting. I doubt that. Everyone's inside watching NGB Live, of course, yeah. 242 people watching. Hey, if you're on YouTube, please like the stream, click the thumbs up, or the thumbs down if you don't like it, I don't care. Because as we were saying before, it's wild how much of a difference the YouTube algorithm makes. Like, it will send out the... it will send out notifications to people if a lot of people like the stream. Wild how much of a difference it makes. So please like the stream if you can. I know it's lame to ask, but it makes such a big difference for live streams that it's kind of stupid. Maybe they secretly made Wednesday into a midweek, yeah. Bicycle Dutch looks pretty normal to me, yeah. Hello, Bicycle Dutch. If for some reason you don't know Bicycle Dutch, make sure you check him out on YouTube. He was one of the guys that got me into all this stuff in the first place. So, Mark, we're out here looking at gebiedsontsluitingswegen that have been turned from 50 to 30, or will be on December 8th. Like that one. Oh man, a hill. Can you believe this? Oh yeah, this bike path. I know where we are. This is a great, and I always end up on this when I'm going, out east to whatever. I always end up coming along here because it's like the most efficient. It's like a bicycle highway, basically. Wait, there are hills in the Netherlands. Yeah, we were just going on about that. Isn't it crazy? Wild, man. When you come to Friesland to record some videos. I don't know, actually. I've been a few times, and Friesland has shown up in a few of my videos because my son used to go to a sailing camp in the summer with his friend, but he's not really into that anymore. I don't know when I'll get to Friesland again. So I was going to continue going up here for a bit. But I'll tell you, my hands are actually getting kind of chilly. My hands get cold pretty quickly, unfortunately. I usually wear gloves when it's below about 15. So 6 degrees and humid. Not good. NJB's Dutch pronunciation is as good as Bicycle Dutch's English. I don't think that's true. I think his English is much better pronunciation than my Dutch. But I guarantee you that Mark speaks better English than I do Dutch. But maybe that will change in the next few years. We'll see. Okay. Is that 30 kilometers an hour? I believe it is, from what I remember of the map, but I don't see a sign. It is that way, but that looks more like a street. I'm gonna see if this is 30. And I think that it is. The wind is cold today. It is a bit. We're rooting for your Dutch proficiency. Thank you. Well, you know, I already passed my inburgering, so that's something. I should be a fully fledged Dutch citizen by this time next year if all goes well. The application is in. I got a letter from the IND saying that the king will review my application. I'm sure it will be him personally. But it's really funny. The letter literally says, like, the king needs to, not the king's office, or like, it's like the king needs to look at my application. And I'm like, okay, cool. Okay. I'm not seeing any signs around here at all, so I'm not sure what the deal is here. It's so funny because remember when we were down by Watergraafsmeer, there was there were so many 30 signs, and now I'm not seeing any signs at all. I need an excuse to have Gareth Dennis in the Netherlands to see rail infrastructure. Yeah, actually, I would love to meet Gareth. I don't know him. I actually only know of him from Twitter and from the Will There's Your Problem podcast. The king will personally thank you for advertising the country. I would like to think so. I don't know why I needed to apply at all. It should have just been delivered once I hit 1 million subscribers, right? Yeah, I gotta say, I'm feeling like bitterly cold out here with the wind and the humidity. And this is one of these things, like, I was in Toronto the other week. And it was, I don't know, about around the same temperature. Okay, here's a 30 sign. It was around the same temperature, 6 degrees, but it was dry. And I wore a warm coat, and it was fine. Like, I had no issues at all. But I am freezing my balls off out here right now. Every urbanist channel above 100K magically gets a residence permit to the Netherlands. Lots of urbanist channels are putting out anti-Netherlands content lately because it's getting them clicks. Maybe it's the humidity. It's definitely the humidity. So the Dutch have a word for this. They call this weather waterkoud, like literally water cold. And it is a very accurate description. This was the same weather that I had when I lived in the UK and in Belgium. I hate it when it's like around zero. And humid. I mean, the Netherlands is far from perfect. Yes, that's absolutely true. And I don't deny that. But one of the problems I have criticizing things in the Netherlands is that any problems here are like 10 times worse in, say, Canada or something like that. Which is not to say that it's perfect, and things should be improved here. And Dutch people do complain too much. And Canadians don't complain enough. But at the same time, some of the content that's coming out on YouTube is just completely ignorant anti-Netherlands stuff. And it's kind of tiring, to be honest. But, you know, people do what gets them their clicks. It's the damp gets into your bones, mate. Correct. That's the thing. It does feel like it's in your bones. And there's nothing you can do to warm up except sit inside by the fire. Because, if it's like minus 20 in Canada and it's dry, and especially if the sun's out, you can just put on some layers and a warm jacket, put on a toque, and you're fine. But I just cannot get warm in this kind of weather. Okay, anyway, I need to shut up and film this. I love that there's so little traffic. Those people are just walking down the middle of the street with a buckfeets. It's funny when my friends from Scandinavia come visit here, they often complain about the cold. Yeah, it is the humidity. You're listening to a Canadian complaining about the cold in the Netherlands when it's 6 outside. Sorry? Sorry, ik hoor je niet over de verkeer.
Ik zag je foto's maken.
Ja, ik maak een foto van de 30 kilometer. Ja.
Special reason?
Ik heb een YouTube kanaal over stadsplannen in Nederland. Dus ik maak een filmpje over de 30 kilometer.
Oké. Oh, wij zijn dus toevallig nu aan het plaatsen. Dus als je wil.
Ja.
Ja?
Oh ja, dankjewel. Prima. Wat plaats je?
We plaatsen nu, dit zijn ecopostpalen.
Ja?
Hier zit NTS op en hier komt een bord. Het is ook een ecopostpaal met een 30 kilometer bord met hennep.
Oh, oké.
Zal ik het even pakken?
Ja. Oh, there you go. They're placing some signs down right now. That's really funny. There, you got to hear me speak Dutch. That's a nice present for your video.
Ik heb nog stadsplannen. Ik weet niet of dat erin past, maar dit is nog een stukje duurzaamheid.
Ja.
Dus dat we ook zeg maar duurzame borden plaatsen.
Oh ja?
Deze is gemaakt van hennepvezels.
Oh, mooi.
Dus ik weet niet in hoeverre je daar...
En dit is like...
Ja,
en
dus
dit
zeg maar
komt op de...
7 op 8
Ja?
wordt dit zeg maar, deze folie wordt er afgehaald. En
Ja?
hieronder zit dan een 30 kilometer bord.
Goed idee.
Ja, dus dat is wat wij zijn de uitvoerende partij van dit alles.
Ja. Kan ik een foto maken van de...
Ja, tuurlijk.
Of een filmpje, ja?
Ik weet niet wat je wil, hoe je dat wil. Zeg het maar.
Ja.
Hoe ik je kan helpen.
Ja, dank je. En mijn YouTube kanaal is Not Just Bikes.
Dat ken ik.
Ja, prima.
Dat ken ik. Oh, grappig.
Oké, dan kan ik just van die en ook aan de andere kant ook. Prima. Mooi.
Ja?
Ja, dankjewel.
Alsjeblieft. Meer informatie nodig?
Nee, het is goed bezig.
Top. Nou, dit zou ik vooral erop zetten, het is leuk.
Ja,
Hennep.
dat is leuk.
Er wordt nog iets goeds met hennep in Amsterdam, toch?
Ja.
Succes met het maken van het filmpje. Mocht je meer informatie nodig hebben, wij zijn van HR-groep.
HR-groep,
Ja,
oké.
Dus mocht je informatie nodig hebben over de materialen of iets, of over hoeveel borden of
Ja.
weet ik veel wat.
Ja.
Nou ja, ik heb geen kaartje om te geven, maar dan weet je me te vinden.
Ja, prima. Wel, dankjewel.
Dankjewel.
Ja, fijne dag.
Hetzelfde.
That's funny. And there's somebody else filming too. YouTuber, yeah. That's really funny. So that's a nice little clip of the front and the back of the board. For anybody that didn't speak Dutch, she was saying... Sorry?
Soort vloggen.
Ja.
Oh. En nog Engels ook?
In Engels, well, normaal is het in Engels. Ja, ik heb een YouTube-kanaal over stadsplannen en mobiliteit in Nederland, ja. Ja, Not Just Bikes. Ken je het?
Nee, dat ken ik
Nee,
niet.
oké, dat is oké.
I know a lot of vloggers,
Ja,
maar meer mensen die discussiëren.
ja, this is...
Zo. Nice. Mooi.
Dankjewel. Yes, well, I think the other...
Succes nog.
Dankjewel.
Doei.
Hey. That fellow filming is filming for some reason for the company. Anyway, for anybody that doesn't speak Dutch, and I apologize for my shitty Dutch there. I don't think it was that bad. She was just saying that they are in the process of putting up the signs on this street. And she was mentioning how the stickers can be removed to show a 30 km/h sign underneath. And she also wanted to mention that it's made from sustainable materials, the signs themselves. It looked like were made with some sort of wood fibers. It was fine, thank you. So yes, you can hear that I do speak Dutch. I'm working on it. Not fantastic, but not terrible either. Bicycle Dutch, it was not shitty at all. Thank you very much. That means a lot coming from you, and I genuinely mean that. Hemp fibers, yeah, that's right. Yeah, so cool. That was really nice. You work in the US, you're not supposed to talk to the media. I doubt that she'll get in trouble. I find that like people in general are very willing to talk to me about stuff. And I do find actually that this is something I really noticed about the Netherlands, is that people like that, if I found someone like that in the US or Canada, I feel like they would just kind of be like just doing their job and they don't give a shit. Whereas you notice like she actually cared about what she was doing, right? Like she was proud of like the program and what her company had done and all that kind of thing. And I think that's really nice. Whew, I'm chilly. When I was filming those last scenes, hands were shaking a little bit. She was really advertising her company. Yeah, that's fine. But like, still, she gives a shit. So fucking cold. You know what? I think I'm actually just gonna stop filming for a bit, just ride around a little bit and eat up and warm up. Time check. Doctor's appointment is at 2, I said, right? I'm gonna sanity check that. Yes, 1400. MJB, the new weather channel, yeah. It'll be like the weather reports from Robin Williams did in Good Morning Vietnam, except instead of being hot, it'll be cold. For anyone old enough to have actually watched Good Morning Vietnam. I used to have that movie memorized when I was a kid. When will be the next live stream? I have to go soon. I don't know. My live streams are kid dependent and weather dependent. I was supposed to live stream yesterday, but my son was sick, so he was home. I have no idea when I'll be able to live stream. I'm just trying to take advantage of the weather not being rainy and shitty, because holy crap, the last 30 days have rained so much, even for the Netherlands. All right, well, you know what? I'm just going to ride my bike for a little bit. Warm up a little bit. I think I've got enough footage for right now. I'm going to hopefully do another live stream out in New West and do the same thing. Find gebiedensluitingswegen that have been changed from 50 to 30. But for now, let's just check out East Amsterdam, because I don't get out here very often. The Netherlands went from the driest year to the wettest year. Yeah, it's wild. I remember when we moved here, the winter of 2018 to 2019 was like the sunniest that the Netherlands had had in decades. Is this Intertown? Is that where I am now? I got all turned around. Have fun riding. Great that I caught a bit of live stream again. Yeah, thanks so much for coming, Mark. If you don't know, check out Bicycle Dutch on YouTube. He's been around for ages. He does so many great videos about cycling in the Netherlands. He's one of the people that got me into this stuff in the first place. The channel would not exist without his. So check it out, Bicycle Dutch on YouTube. Get some plants, yeah. This is actually interesting to any North Americans watching. Check this out. This is a like suburban style garden center, right? You know what they would look like in North America. They'd have this enormous parking lot. I mean, this thing is huge, right? But it's right off a bike path. And it's got this tiny little parking lot. I mean, not tiny for the Netherlands, but compared to what this would be in North America, it's minuscule. I'm literally taking you through a garden center. That's what you guys tune in for, right? Let's go shopping for plants. Opposite Intertown is my old high school. Is that the Piet something college or something like that? I remember when my kids were making a list of middelbare school and we were looking at that one. Yeah, so anyway, not a very big parking lot. And then look at all this bike parking. And I'll come here sometimes and there'll just be like bakfietsen all over here of people loading plants into their bakfietsen. And this garden center is enormous. But this is the kind of place that in North America, the parking lot would be larger than the building. Whereas here, the parking lot is like a fifth of the size of the building or a sixth or something. I don't know. Look at it on Google Maps. Peter Newland College, yes. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I don't think we put that on the list. I don't remember. So when you're going to high school here in the Netherlands, one of the things that's really amazing about Dutch culture is they want to keep things very open to everyone, regardless of where you're from or your socioeconomic status. There's actually a lot of things done to level socioeconomic status in the Netherlands. So when you go into the Netherlands, you don't just go to like your local high school, because what tends to happen then is the rich kids go to the rich kid high school, the poor kids go to the poor kid high school. So instead you make a list of 12 schools, and then they use an algorithm to give people, to place people. Most kids get in one of their top three. Some kids don't. But they do that in order to level the playing field. And it is really interesting. It's kind of a pain in the ass as a parent and as a kid, though, because you have no idea what school you're going to. So it's kind of stressful. But it's nice that they do it. Okay, I said I wasn't going to film another 30 kilometer per hour, but there's actually traffic here, and this is another relatively busy road. There was traffic. There's not traffic anymore. When I was growing up, it was just a free choice. Yeah, isn't it more of an Amsterdam thing? It is more of an Amsterdam thing, yes. Amstelveen is doing it too, though, but I think you choose fewer schools, but I think that's just because there are fewer schools in Amstelveen. I think you choose 6. I don't know. My son has a friend who lives in Amstelveen, and she just went through it recently, or she's going through it now, I think. Yeah, that's how I got my place in high school. I was given a list of 5 schools to visit and choose one. I got to choose which one I wanted to go to even as a kid. That's interesting. Do you ever get self-conscious filming other people in public? Yeah, I do, but I find that people in the Netherlands generally don't mind too much. And I try to avoid filming people. And when I choose the clips, I use the ones that don't identify people very easily. If there's a clip I have to use when someone's face is very visible, then I will blur them out. And generally that seems to be okay. Technically, I don't have to blur anyone's faces legally, but I do. And yes, it's Dutch people tend not to mind. It's always the Germans that do. Although I was in Germany recently and filming, and nobody really had an issue. But I was also like very consciously trying not to film people. But you'll notice, for example, that I usually film facing this way because that way anybody cycling, it's the back of them when they're close. You see the back of their head as opposed to them coming towards me where their face is clearly visible. You know what's really funny though is that the only people who ever have complained are people I'm not filming. And we had this once on a live stream where a guy did this when I did the t-shirt guy, exactly. You know it. When I was doing the micromobility conference, when people object to me filming, they come up from behind me and tell me they don't want me to film them. And I'm always like, every single time, I think it's been about a half dozen times it's happened. Every single time has been somebody who's I'm not even facing them. I'm not even pointing the camera at them. They're literally behind me or to the side of me. And they purposely come up and tell me, don't film me. I don't want to be filmed. And I'm like, I didn't even know you were there. I'm fucking filming the other direction. Who cares? But yeah, the people who will complain about it are those kind of people. I mean, I'm fine with it. If people don't want to be filmed, fine. No problems. But like, yeah, for the people that, exactly. Yeah, you say you don't like being randomly filmed, but you move out of the way. Yeah, it's the weirdos who are like, will purposefully come up to me from behind and say, don't film me. And I was like, dude, you're behind me. I don't fucking care. Anyway, you need a t-shirt with I'm not filming you on the back. Yeah, that would be fine. Oh my God. Yes. Speaking of conferences, though, I think I will be live streaming on Friday around this time because there's the Fully Charged show at the RAI, which is mostly around electric vehicles, but they have the cargo bike festival going on there too, and they've been bugging me to go to this thing forever, so I picked up a press pass and I will be going there, and I think I will live stream the Fully Charged show. It's kind of a nice canal. It's good a time as any to stop and have a sip of tea, warm up a bit. I find they don't film me in public to be very weird. If one is in public, then you should expect to be visible to the public. Yeah, I get that. But at the same time, like, I can understand that people maybe don't want to show up on film. It's different between, like, appearing in public and, like, being recorded with what you're doing. Kind of goes back to what I was saying about live streamers and how they get themselves in trouble so often. Because, like, people say stupid shit all the time. Every one of us does, especially if you're talking about something controversial like politics. But there's a big difference between saying stupid shit when you're around a group of friends who nobody's going to remember it later, and saying stupid shit recorded in a live stream that people are going to clip and refer to forever. And I think it's a similar thing for appearing on public. versus being filmed in public. Oh yeah, that's what I should have had earlier. Swig of tea. This is the ring part. Yeah, that's right. GDPR has an exemption for filming in public. You don't need someone's permission for filming if they're not the main focus of the video. That is correct. So yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, I don't need to use clips that don't have people in them. I don't need to blur people's faces. None of that is required by privacy laws in Europe. I consider it a courtesy. Certainly, I blur the faces of people under 16. That gets a little bit touchy. There are different laws about minors. And I just don't want to go down there. And besides, like, I kind of feel like adults know what they're doing. Children don't. But, like, they don't understand the repercussions of showing up online. So I tend to blur children's faces, or generally I avoid showing children at all except from the back. People passing by should not make trouble when they're accidentally available. Yeah, I completely agree. Although I must admit that if your face is clearly visible, like in my video about Freiburg, there was one clip of the tram I really wanted to use, and there was a woman sitting there who was just, and she had her cane with her, and she was very, very clearly visible. Jesus, that guy's moving. Why can't I get a video of the 30-kilometer sign with him going by? So I blurred that woman's face, and I think that's courtesy. Oh my good God. These gloves are supposed to be touchscreen sensitive, but they just do not work. I try not to zoom in on people too much. Yeah, exactly, Mark. You get it. You've been doing this much longer than me. You know what the deal is. All right, so where am I going? Why don't we go a little northeast here, further into Oost? I just need to be back to the hospital by Ooster Park by 2. I should probably be there a little earlier, like 1:30. But that still gives me 45 minutes. Do you have a screen protection on the phone? No, I do not. I have gloves like that. I always need to lick them like I'm turning a newspaper page. That's funny. If you use Android, you can change your touch sensitivity. Okay, I can try that. I mean, it kind of works sometimes. Sometimes it works great, and other times it just doesn't. Maybe I do have to lick it. Go visit Ooster Park. Well, I am going to Ooster Park because I mentioned at the beginning of the stream I have an appointment at the hospital, OLVG, I guess it is, Oost, and it's right next to Ooster Park. Have your viewer ever approached you while you were live streaming? Yeah, several times. I don't mind it when people do that if they just say hi and leave. I just don't like it when people come and like want to chat for a while because I think that's unfair to everybody else watching. But if you see me, feel free to say hi. Say hi to chat, and then leave. And that's cool. Just look at any live stream from Canada. Oh yeah, there was one live stream I did in Toronto, and I had like 4 people come out, although I think a couple of those people purposefully like met me, because one guy, I saw him like coming out of his house, and he was like, "Hi, NJB," as I went by. And I meant into the park, by the way. Yeah, I'll go into Ooster Park for sure. Ooster Park's a really nice park. This is 30 kilometers an hour as well, although this is more of a street. And you can see they have those speed bumps before the crossing there. I should film that. Oh. It's just crazy how little traffic there is out here, though. You're a perfect guy for stream sniping with a live map open. Yeah, it's true. The live map is great. I'm gonna get off of this in case some car comes out here. Let me just zoom in a bit from here. The hospital we're visiting just 5 minutes from where I used to live as a child. Yeah, I go to that hospital sometimes. I had a detached retina a few years ago when I was still fairly new to the Netherlands. Got to experience Dutch healthcare firsthand. You know, I've actually had nothing but good experiences with Dutch healthcare. But yeah, ever since the detached retina, they want to see me at the hospital every 6 months or a year. OLVG, I was born there. Which one, though? They have multiple of them, which I learned the hard way when I showed up there for an appointment that was actually at their... Apparently they have one at Spui? Spui? How do you pronounce that? S-P-U-I? It should be like Spou, but I think it's Spoo. I think some people say Spui. Anyway, they have one right in the center, and I showed up at the wrong location. Okay, is any car gonna come here? I just want that sign with that speed bump and that crossing. Ui, like onion. Yeah, that's what I thought. Spui. Sorry, spui. Fuck, I cannot pronounce that. Like UI, like town, own. That is so hard for me as an English speaker. The first time you said Spou, it was actually perfect. Your town pronunciation is good, actually. I find that I can do it if I think about it and I just say the word. Like if I just say town, I can kind of do it. But when I'm speaking it in a sentence, I fuck it up every time. It's the same thing with the... yeah, I know there's only one Dutch UI sound, but I thought maybe that word... You know, sometimes words are like... They're a name for something and they're pronounced differently. Anyway, yeah, so I can say like town if I'm just saying the word on its own, but the UI and the EU are so hard for me as an English speaker. I remember everyone telling me when I was learning that I'm going to have problems with the G. I don't have a problem with the G at all. I find it really easy, but the EU and the UI I find so hard, and I know how to say them. I know what you're supposed to say. I can like do it if I have to say like euro or something like that. I can say it, but when I'm saying it fast in a sentence, I fuck it up every time. It's just going to take practice. But yeah, I don't have a problem with the G, except if I'm saying gelukkig, which I can never fucking say properly in a sentence. Anyway. Rotterdam is wild with written spoken with Charlois, just called Sarloos. Jesus Christ. Yeah, and that's the thing. That's what I was wondering with Spou. Like if it was, because I've heard people pronounce it differently. They're probably just ignorant Anglophones. The king is watching you. Maybe not talk about how you fuck pronunciation, yeah. EU is similar to German umlaut. Yeah, I guess it is a little, but that's more of an U. I did learn German in high school. That's why I was able to learn Dutch faster, at least for the grammar. Basic grammar is a little bit similar, even though Dutch people get angry when I tell them that Dutch and German are similar. I remember when I was learning Dutch, I would speak German all the time. I don't know, I would just say German words. And my tutor used to always say, nee, dat is Duits. Nee, dat is Duits. It's like, yeah, okay. She means oh, not ooh. Oh, I see. Ooh. Oh, okay. All right, fair enough. Dutch and German are similar. Yes, I think so too, Mark. Thank you for confirming. I've had people say they're not anything alike, and I'm like, are you crazy? I said, are you crazy? Like, yes, they are. Anyway, I found that my knowledge of German grammar helped me a lot with learning Dutch. I mean, you even stick your verbs at the end when you have a second verb that's unconjugated. Come on, people. These are all becoming 30-kilometer-an-hour streets. I love it. You love to see it. I need to get out here on December 8th and watch them peel the stickers. Maybe I can ask to peel a sticker too. The live stream sticker peeling. I'll put on a Pete outfit and run around town peeling stickers. So I need to take another look at that map of what streets are becoming 30 kilometers an hour and see if I can find some in New West that are unusually large. Oh, here we are already back at OLVG. You'll have to get up early, I assume? Yeah, maybe. This is where I'm going to end the stream, but I'm not going to end the stream now. The map. Yes, thank you. Let me post that in YouTube as well. This is the map that I'm working from. I made this based on the one on the Commuter website. The green are all of the 50-kilometer roads that are becoming 30. You went past the street I lived in there. There you go. Oh, yeah, it's cool. Okay, this is where I need to be in an hour. Oh, you got your VanMoof with the speed limiter removed there. Yes, speaking of, we make a distinction between e-bikes and speed pedelecs. That VanMoof has had its speed limiter removed and is a speed pedelec, but he does not have a license plate, so, you know. Jerks. Actually, the VanMoof store is right here. Okay, here we are in Ooster Park. I'm going to ride around a little bit because it's nice. I'll probably end the stream in about half an hour so that I have time to like lock up and get in ahead of my appointment. I don't want to be late. This is a nice park. Tourists don't really get here. Even though I think the Tropen Museum is like right there. The S100, well, the biggest roads that will be 30 in the east? Yeah, probably. And I think we should actually go up to Stadshouderskade, although I think it's called Maurutskade here. Maybe I'll just take a spin around the park and then go up there. What happened with VanMoof? Didn't they go bankrupt? They did go bankrupt. But bankrupt doesn't necessarily mean they're gone. You can always just go into bankruptcy protection and such, but VanMoof is still around in some capacity, I believe. It pisses me off how they made it so easy to remove the speed limiters on their bikes, and so there's so many, as my kids would say, cuckers, riding around on their VanMoofs. VanMoof got bought by McLaren. Oh, okay. Ooster Park has a bad rep. Yeah, I don't think that that reputation is justified anymore. I know that it used to be a bad park. It's the same thing with Sarfati Park in De Pijp, which used to be really bad from my understanding. It is quite nice now. Cockers is the correct term, yeah. I'm never quite sure with these things when my kids use them. I don't know if these are like just slang terms or like incredibly rude. But yes, they will talk about the cockers on their VanMoofs with their AirPods in. It's just very funny. The other slang term that I learned the other week was the havermelk elite, the oat milk elite, which is like the rich people in Oud-Zuid who drink oat milk. I do drink oat milk, so I feel like I might be the havermelk elite. It's both slang and rude, but 100% correct. Yeah, there you go. A true cocker is proud to be a cocker. AirPods in, boys. To the uninitiated, a cocker is somebody who shows off their wealth in the Netherlands, which is not something that is normally socially acceptable. Doe normaal, jongens. Not that people don't do it, but it's more frowned upon in Dutch culture than it is in, say, American culture, where it's very much encouraged. Ding. Havermout enjoyers. Oat milk isn't even that expensive. Yeah, I know. I think it's kind of funny. But when I heard the term, it's very funny. But I think it's, all right. What's that?
The cameras.
Yes.
Where do you buy that holding thing?
That's a good question. I don't remember.
But you can make movies all over the city.
Yes, I'm actually live streaming right now on Twitch and YouTube.
Nice.
Yeah.
Goodbye. I'm a financial life planner. I like to do what you love to do. So keep doing what you love to do. My name is Cornelis today, and I'm a local.
All right.
Local
Very good.
guide also from Google.
Oh, very good.
So I do a lot of things, telling stories about this. Nice.
I have
an idea too.
I have a YouTube channel called Not Just Bikes, which is mostly about urban planning. It's a lot, but I also do some live streaming too. When I go out and film, like I'm doing today.
Yeah. So not just bikes.
Not Just Bikes is what
Nice
it's called.
meeting
Yeah.
you, man.
Nice
I
to meet you
take
too,
care.
sir.
What's your name?
Jason.
Cornelis.
Pleasure. Have a good day, Cornelius.
I will. Yeah.
Yeah, Not Just Bikes. Have a look. Yeah.
Ja,
At least it's a micro car.
Yeah. Okay. Take care.
Cheers. Wild. It's more expensive than milk, which is wild to be honest. Yes. I actually really like oat milk. So when I was younger, I had like a major problem with dairy. I don't know what it was, never really figured it out, but I could not eat dairy. And now I like slowly brought it back in and I can have dairy now, but like if I have too much, it makes me sick. It's not lactose intolerance, but it's something. And so I stopped eating in my 20s, and I tried soy milk and almond milk and stuff, but I actually really like oat milk, so I still have it like on my cereal and stuff. You'll be the new king in no time, lol. Oh yeah, so this is 30. This is also becoming 30. So yes, I do drink havermelk, and I do live in Oud-Zuid in Amsterdam. So I think that alone makes me part of the havermelk elite. The audio is delayed. That's not good. Let me actually... Old money doesn't show cockers are middle class with bling. Yes. Let me just very quickly... are you a cocker? No, I do not have a VanMoof. I do not have an Apple phone, and I do not wear AirPods, AirPods, whatever the hell they're called. I'm just going to turn off the camera for a second and see if the delay gets better. All right, I also restarted the encoder for good measure, or rather stopped it and started it, not restarted it. But hopefully the audio is better now. Let me just get a video of this 30 kilometer per hour sign. Clap sync. The delay wasn't noticeable until we saw someone talking. Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder, actually, maybe there is a delay all the time. My optical stabilization is off. There's also no more traffic. There's a tram, though. Always good content with trams. True. All right, I will clap. Let me know if there is a delay. If there is, I might need to look into settings on the Bella box. All right, here we go. How was that? Did you vote yet? I can't vote. Yeah, delay. Is the audio delayed or is the video delayed? Audio 1 second ahead of video. Interesting. All right, that was longer than I thought it was going to be, but yeah, for this type of content, no, but if he's going to be talking to people on Friday, yeah, exactly, it would be annoying. Don't forget to vote. Not sure if you're a Dutch citizen. I am not a Dutch citizen. I cannot vote. We went through this at the beginning of the stream, but please, please, if you can vote, vote today. Please, please, please. And I will do my left-wing propaganda again. But this is the chance that now that GroenLinks and PvdA have merged, this is the chance to actually have a left-wing prime minister in the Netherlands for the first time in decades. That would be nice. There's a very real chance that GroenLinks PvdA could be the largest party. They're like neck and neck with the VVD and the PVV. And it would be pretty freaking cool. Thank you very much. So I would Like, I don't, in the Netherlands, I don't normally advocate for strategic voting because there's so many parties and you have a decent voting system. But in this case, because there is a chance, ambulance, that the United Left could be the largest party, I would ask people to vote for GroenLinks PvdA, please, on my behalf, because I can. Not yet, next one. Should be a citizen by this time next year, king permitting. If the king gives me his thumbs up. If you know the king, put in a good word for me, eh? Partij van de Dieren. Yeah, I mean, look, the PvdA are a perfectly good party. The only thing is, I would say for this election and only this election, I would advocate if you vote for them, vote for GroenLinks PvdA instead, so that they can become the largest party. I'm sad they don't support dual citizenship here. Yeah, me too. I'm gonna have to give up my Canadian passport. But my kids will get dual, and my wife, if she passes the language exams, will also be able to get a dual citizenship because she'll be married to a Dutch citizen. Because immigration laws don't make any fucking sense. But yeah, I will have to give up my Canadian passport. At the same time, I don't really care. It's just kind of a piece of paper, and an EU passport is way more useful than a Canadian passport. Like, way more useful. And the Dutch passport gets me into every country that the Canadian passport does too. So it really doesn't matter. Just the only difference is if I want to move back to Canada, but Canada is the easiest country in the world to immigrate to. And if I do move back to Canada, I can get dual citizenship by getting my Canadian passport back because immigration laws don't make any sense. So I'm not that fussed about it. It will be funny if I move back to Canada for some reason, like if my parents are really sick and I need to take care of them or something like that. It will be funny to have to get a visa for my own country, home country, but you know, such is life. All right, so yes, Stadshouderskade, or Mauritsskade, that it's called here, I think, is 30 kilometers an hour. I let my wife apply first so I can keep mine, yeah. Well, my wife can't pass the language exams yet. She has taken lessons, but her Dutch is not great. She just works too much to dedicate enough time to it, unfortunately. But I'm really hoping that at some point in the future she can pass the exams. That is the Tropical Museum, the Tropisch Museum. It's a museum of many of the tropical countries that the Netherlands had colonized over the years. Needs to be 35 miles per hour or it's not real cycling, or so I'm told. Yeah, John Forrester, he knows best. That is a reference to vehicular cycling, where John Forrester said that all cycling infrastructure should be designed for a 35 mile per hour cycling speed, because he's insane. I did a podcast on Well, There's Your Problem about it, which is quite funny. If you want to listen to us rant for 2 hours about vehicular cycling, you can look that up. Well, There's Your Problem. Search for vehicular cycling, and this is a good episode. I like that podcast. Okay, just give me a second. I'm going to record now that traffic is coming. It will be interesting to see, yeah, bonus Kanta in the bike path, hey? It'll be interesting to see how this shakes out when it's actually 30 kilometers an hour. Man, there are a lot of people cycling here. His movement survived him. Yeah, I want to make a video about vehicular cycling someday. I've already done the podcast with Well, There's Your Problem, but I want to make a video about it. I was thinking of calling it the bicycle cult that ruined cycling in America or something like that. So this is Maritzgade, a busy road. It's got the bike path here, but they've set it up so that if you're cycling, you wouldn't actually cycle here. You'd actually cycle up here, and I'll bring you up here because there's a fietsstraat they've made up here, which is nice. Oh God. It's the ring road around the city center, yes. Woensdag, school is out. It is, yeah, yes. Basisschool is out, but not middelbare school. I'm just gonna cycle the wrong way here. Just ignore me. So yeah, that's the ring road. This canal is what, the Single, right? But where you would cycle is over here. And I love this about Amsterdam. Like, that's perfectly safe. You know, they've got a protected bicycle path, perfectly safe place to cycle. But cycling volumes are so high that they don't want everybody to cycle there. Jesus, I need to get on the right side of the road here. So instead you cycle over here. And this is a 30 kilometer per hour fietsstraat. You know the sign there. Auto te gast. And this gets really busy sometimes. What computer do you use for editing? I use an editor. I don't know what computer they use. So yeah, this is the binnenring for cyclists and trams. So here we can use the whole road, and cars are supposed to wait behind cyclists, and this gets so busy with cyclists sometimes. You would not want all these people cycling to be over on the ring road because it would just be too many. It would overwhelm the narrow fietspad. But yeah, I love that about Amsterdam. They got perfectly safe protected bicycle path 1 block over, and then they're like, no, we're going to do a totally separate like ring road for cyclists. And this has lots of modal filters, so it's not a through route for cars. And I was talking about this earlier in the video, Sarfadistraat, which I don't think it's called here, but it will be shortly. This is where I like to cycle. And if you follow Google Maps, it'll take you out there on the ring road all the time. But it's much nicer to be here without the traffic. Because this isn't a through street for cars, there's so little car traffic here. I find share roads like this awkward because when cycling, there's a car, I get stuck behind them.
Oh my God.
Yes, that is true. That happens. It is a little bit awkward, I must admit. But at the same time, like this street gets so busy sometimes with cyclists, oops, that they just will not fit in a protected bicycle path. You should make a video about the big cycling bridge that connects Eiburg and Amsterdam. It's shown up in my video a few times and in my live streams. I don't know if I'll make a video about it in particular, but it'll probably fit in somewhere. But yeah, this is happening a lot more in Amsterdam because there's so many cyclists that protected bike paths can't be wide enough anymore. So they do stuff like this. So you'll notice this is Vesperstraat, I think it's called here. Is it Vibootstraat here? Whatever. This road. This horrible road that they're trying to close. You notice here that cars can't go straight through here, right? The trams can. Then there's an entrance to the metro in the middle of where the car lane would be. And then there's a bicycle path here. So here, this is a modal filter that doesn't allow cars to come through. And then you see here, it starts again with the Fietsstraat, although I don't know how you would get here in a car. But apparently somebody did because they're parked there. I guess they had to make a U-turn right there. And then again, you're on a Fietsstraat. But that's the way they keep the car traffic low, is by having those modal filters. Anyway, it's getting close to the time for my appointment, so I think I'm going to head back to OLVG, the Ooster Park. I'll just continue on here on Sarfatistraat a little bit more. Did you hear about the car that tried to go down bicycle parking garage? Yeah, I posted it on Mastodon. What a dipshit. But you know what, though? That guy that drove down the bicycle parking, he was trying to go into the Q Park garage at the Bijenkorf, which I've talked about in previous videos. My video, for example, about removing 10,000 parking spaces. That fucking parking garage needs to go away. It causes so many problems because dumbasses, mostly from out of town, just punch it into their GPS, like parking in the city center. This is so nice, by the way. Look at this used to be major intersection. Now it's basically car free. They put more green space, and check this out. Like, this was a road for cars, and now it's just bike paths on either side of grassy tram tracks. Like, this rules. I love this. This was so much worse. I think even when we moved to the Netherlands, there was way more traffic here. Now look at this. It's like fucking beautiful. But anyway, that Bijenkorf parking garage has to go because it causes so many problems. It drives so much traffic into the city center. And then there's that, what they call the Bijenkorf traffic jam, which happens every weekend with people coming to shop at the Bijenkorf, which is a high-end department store, and they park in that parking garage. But yeah, check out how nice this is, right? This design now, they got the rocks and the native plants for drainage, grassy tram tracks, the Fietsstraat, the bicycle paths, and it's so quiet out here. There's so little car traffic. I love this. It's so quiet. Yeah. Until a moped comes. Oh, no, it's not that loud. Yeah, I absolutely love what they've done with this area. I think it's so nice. And it used to be a major intersection. Bijenkorf in general needs to leave, at least from the city center. Yeah. The thing is, so the Bijenkorf is a high-end department store. It sells like Gucci, Louis Vuitton type stuff. And so you get these fucking dipshits in their Porsches and Mercedes G-Wagons and shit insisting on driving, even though it's literally at the metro station on the M52. Like, it could not be easier to get to. These dumbasses just drive their expensive cars into the city center, punch in the Q Park garage, and they sit in traffic for literally hours sometimes. And the city has no patience for it. Cuckers in Land Rovers, yeah. it's just infuriating. And I remember NPO, I think it was, did an article where they went to the people in the traffic jam and like asked them like, why they were there, what they were doing. They were just going shopping. Like there were people who didn't know and just punched center into their GPS and drove there. It was almost all people from out of town. It was almost all luxury cars. They interviewed like dozens of people, and they found exactly one guy who actually needed to be driving there. He was helping his son move out of his apartment, and he was like, "Yeah, it's really a shame that all these people are stuck in traffic. I need to have the car because I'm helping my son move." Everybody else is just going either shopping at the Bijenkorf, or they just were visiting Amsterdam as a tourist and just punched in center into their GPS and drove into the middle of the center. And it's that fucking parking garage that does it, because everyone looks for parking in the center and they go right down there. Everybody comes in big cars. SUVs are nicknamed Pace Hoofdtractors. That's funny. Pace Hoofdstraat, I think I might make a short video about it. It is such a funny street. It's a street that has all the high-end shops on it, in South. And I remember there was a time I went there, and outside of the Prada store, I wish I had my camera on me, there was a guy in a Maserati that pulled up, and he just parked, like double parked the side of the road. Not enough room. He just parks, gets out. He and his wife go into Prada, leave the car there, the Maserati. And there's this guy in a Lamborghini that comes behind, and he can't get around him. And it was just so funny to see like those kind of like rich assholes who don't care about anyone else just pissing each other off. And they were getting in like fights and shit, screaming at one another, honking their Lamborghini horn. And I was just like, this is hilarious to watch. It's a bunch of rich assholes all just pissing each other off. Yeah, I really wish I had my camera, because the like screaming match between the guy in the Maserati and the guy in the Lamborghini was just classic. Oh, anyway, I need to get back to the hospital. It's not too far from here. Nice to ride down the Fietsstraat instead of on the ring road, even though the ring road has a perfectly safe, protected bicycle path. This is still the nicer way to go. Just remind me where the turnoff is to get to Ooster Park. It's not this one, right? It's the next one, I think. It's after the Albert Heijn. Which one is this one? You know what, I'll come down this way anyway, just so we'll finish up. Would you rather live somewhere with better weather for slightly more car-centricism? No. But I sometimes wonder if I'll live in a different city someday that has more public transit, more trams. Because when I look at like Vienna, I'm like, your public transit is so much better than here. Just straight here, yeah. It is, yeah, thank you. Spain isn't bad. Well, that's what every Dutch person does. So maybe when I retire, I'll be a true Dutch citizen and retire to Spain. I'll move to Valencia or something. But we have a lot more cars here in Vienna, sadly. That is true. But you have the highest percentage of, highest mode share for public transit in all of Europe, from my understanding, at least for major cities. But yeah, I mean, that's the trick. I hate to be like so simplistic with it, but it really is true that the fewer cars you have, the better the city is. And it really is that simple. I know people like get upset at urbanists for always complaining about cars, but it comes down to that every fucking time. What is it about Vienna's transit that makes it better than Amsterdam? Just it's more frequent, more expensive. Look, Amsterdam transit is good, but it's not like the best in Europe. That's all I'm saying. All right. We're back at the hospital. It'll be easy to end on a tram here because there's a tram line. Oh. A lot of Dutch cities don't have the same pressure for public transit because the bikes cover it. Yeah, I think that's true. And I think that's actually one of the things that is challenging about public transit in the Netherlands is they do have to compete with bikes, which are incredibly efficient. VVD doesn't want to spend any money on transit. That's correct. The VVD has spent significantly more money on roads than it has on public transit for decades. And the Netherlands feeling it. You know, every time I get someone in the Netherlands saying public transit is too expensive or it's faster to drive, I'm like, yeah, that's because the VVD has spent billions of euros to ensure that. Like, it's not some fundamental of driving. You get what you spend money on, and that's it. Where is my tea? I keep opening the wrong pannier. That's my alarm telling me I need to get to the hospital. Anyway, thanks for coming out to the stream. And yes, I'm ending the stream soon because I have an appointment at that hospital in half an hour. And I don't want to be late. But that was good. We got to see some 30-kilometer-per-hour streets. You got to hear me speak Dutch. I got Build the Lanes texting me right now. He wants to do a live stream together. Sure. Oh my God, suddenly chat caught up. I was wondering why no one was saying goodbye. Now I see like dozens of messages. Thanks so much, everybody. There's your tram. To end the stream. I always like to end on a tram. Thanks for coming out, and I will look into that. Audio delay, not delay. What's the opposite of a delay? Video delay. Before I stream on Friday at the Fully Charged show at the Rye. See you, everybody. Or not. Because my OBS connection dropped.